Welcome to the Hmong Peeps Show, the one and only show that brings you ordinary people sharing extraordinary insights. Well, maybe. Here is your host, Chew Effin Lee.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chew. Welcome to the Hmong Peeps Show. Not a lot happened this week on the news, right? So I'm not going to even get into that. I didn't see anything that caught my attention that was worth speaking about, so I'll just go right into the topic of today, and that is peace of mind and relaxation. So what do you guys do to take a break from your spiritual journey? And every now and then it's very healthy, in my opinion, to just try to get away from all of that. It's kind of like when you think about work. You work 5 days a week, 40 plus hours a week, and it's a nice feeling to have some money to go out and take a long vacation. Some of us are fortunate enough to get 1 or 2 weeks out of the year to just get away from quote unquote reality, right? Well, that's kind of like how it is with spiritual development in your spiritual journey. Us folks who are a little bit, seasoned, we don't want to always be thinking about spirituality all the time, because we are human beings too, and it can take a toll on us, and we just want to get away for a little bit and try to think about other things. Some folks who don't know me very well, they think that all I do every day is meditate. That's not true. Spiritual people don't do that every single day or all the time, the entire day. We have other things in life that we have to take care of, and we have to prioritize as well. So try to get that out of your minds if you guys still think or have that stereotype about spiritually gifted people. Now, there are other folks who are spiritually gifted who are continuously bothered by spirits, and they somehow can't figure out a way to shut it off or not be bothered by the spirits. And I can't speak from that experience, but I can only imagine how difficult that must be, to always think about, oh my gosh, I'm not alone, or oh my gosh, a spirit's here, they're trying to talk to me, and I'm trying to do something. So I hope you guys, whoever can relate to that, will figure out a way to get away from that for a little bit. Have some time for yourself. And again, maybe some of you guys have tried it for so long, but it just never works out that way, which is okay. But the beauty of having a peace of mind, or being able to get away from your spiritual development, is good, because you get to rejuvenate, you get to re-energize. And then once you become re-energized or rejuvenated, you come back a little bit more stronger as a spiritual being. And some things that I do, for example, I'm working on many projects right now, and I get very, very easily drained if I don't take a break from these projects, whether it's spirituality or any other things that I do. Sometimes I'm so ingrained. It's almost like an OCD, where I obsess about it all day long, and there's just a certain point where you just can't go further. You can't reach that goal that you want to, because you're so distracted by other racing thoughts, other racing potentials, possibilities about your projects. And so you might feel productive, you're excited and all that stuff, but there's really no progress. And when that happens to me, I really have to take a step back, go do something that's totally different, that'll get my mind off of it, so when I come back, new thoughts, new ideas, different angles can come to mind on how to achieve and accomplish that goal. So that's what I do. And some of the activities that I personally do, this year has been very strange. I used to love fishing, but this year I've lost the motivation to fish. So what I try to do to distract myself from the projects that I'm working on is just watch TV. I try to catch up on TV. I've noticed that this year I've paid more attention to the news. I try to hang out more with my brothers, my family, just so that I get more human interaction, so that it'll help me re-energize when I come back to my projects. Another thing I like to do is to get away from where I live, like St. Paul or Oakdale. So when I'm in a different town or a different state or even a different country, I feel that energy of that different environment. And it's a good feeling sometimes because it doesn't remind me of what I have to come back and work on. I mean, you guys probably notice this too, those of you who are sensitive, and even for those of you that are not. When you enter a new town or a different town, you can just pick up that the energy there is totally different, right? For example, for me, a few years ago, when I went down to South Carolina for a funeral, I mean, when I got down there, I wasn't even sad about the funeral because I already knew that was coming, and I was already sad that I had a relative that passed away. But once I landed down in South Carolina, just the environment itself, the atmosphere was just so draining. It was just so weird and so depressing. And then, something came to mind that, you're going to a place that there's a lot of death, history of death. And I didn't do any research about this town because, my relatives lived there. And I just knew that I'm going there for a funeral. So when I got there and I started picking up on the energy and the atmosphere, it just so happens that when we were driving into town, the town that they lived in is a historical site during the Civil War. And there was a lot of, fighting, death on those properties. So that was kind of strange, but it didn't really help me to, rejuvenate or re-energize because of the event that I was going to in the area. But it just feels different, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can pick up on that. Like, for example, whenever I go to California, to Fresno, the atmosphere there is very different. Even though it's a pretty diverse area, just like where I live now, the atmosphere and the energy of Fresno is still very different for me. So the best place that I like to go to is anywhere that has beautiful beaches. I'm like drawn to that. So I love sitting on the beach and just feeling the wind, the breeze of the ocean hit me, and listening to the waves crash and the beautiful scenery of turquoise blue ocean. And I'm not talking about San Francisco beaches, okay? I've been there. It's horrible. But I'm talking about beaches in the Bahamas, Florida, Mexico, Cancun, things like that. So that's my ideal place to vacation whenever I can. And again, when I get there and I come back, I feel very re-energized as a spiritual being and also as a person. So I encourage you guys to really consider taking time out for yourself to go do something different, so you don't always have to feel like you're being pulled left and right all the time by spirits or by energy. Okay, take time to just relax, and it's okay to not take clients, I guess, if you want to call it that too, for a while until you feel comfortable and ready and strong enough to do so. All right. Another thing I wanted to talk about today is the spiritual retreat. It's coming up in about 2 weeks, and I think I've already sent out messages to those that have signed up, and some of you who contacted me and got the response that there's no more spots left. Sorry. Maybe next time, hopefully we can get you in, okay? And remember to wear something very bright. It's not going to be like a cult meeting. Okay, I'm not trying to, for example, have you guys all wear white, and then people are gonna see us walking into a room that, the 10 or 20 of us walking into a room wearing white, and then 10 or 20 of us walk out of a room wearing completely white. That would be very strange. So I hope we'll see bright colors other than white. All right, and there's a reason to this madness, and I will share that during our retreat. All right, folks, that's it, and I will talk to you guys next time. Take care. Bye.